Hey friends, today we're going to talk about a synthetic hallucinogen known as nbomb. Before we look at how nbomb works, let's take a second to look at its history.
Well, there's a new synthetic drug on the market called 25I or nbomb. Chances are you've never heard of it. Neither did an Austin woman.
So nbomb is a derivative of the phenylethylamine 2CI. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Alexander Shulgin worked to develop a variety of psychoactive substances that were phenylethylamine derivatives. A well-known phenylethylamine is mescaline. Mescaline is a naturally occurring psychedelic substance that's found in the peyote cactus. Similarly, many phenylethylamine derivatives have psychedelic properties, just like mescaline. One of those, which was published in his book Phenylethylamines I Know and Love, was our very own 2CI. So 2CI is a psychoactive substance in its own right. But when you convert it to our own nbomb, as we can see here, it becomes a much more powerful and potent substance. So let's take a look at the structural similarities between the two. As you can see here, 2CI and nbomb have basically the same backbone structure. So the difference between the two drugs is that for nbomb, we add a benzomethyl group onto our amino group of our 2CI structure. In doing so, gives us nbomb, which is a much more potent hallucinogen. Within the brain, there are serotonergic neurons that release serotonin, which then bind to 5-HT receptors. After being ingested nasally, sublingually, or buccally, nbomb enters the bloodstream. Once in the brain, nbomb approaches neurons containing 5-HT2A or serotonin receptors. While serotonin usually binds to these receptors as its endogenous neurotransmitter, nbomb is a potent full agonist at 5-HT2A receptors and can bind as well. Interestingly, before nbomb gained popularity as a recreational hallucinogen, it was used in a study in which radio-labeled nbomb was used as a candidate for a 5-HT2A PET tracer because of its ability as a full agonist at 5-HT2A receptors. In this study, radio-labeled nbomb was injected into a pig's brain in order to identify 5-HT2A distributions in the brain. While other 5-HT2A receptor agonists outperformed nbomb as a PET tracer, these results certainly confirm the binding of nbomb to 5-HT2A receptors. Five HT2A receptors are G-protein coupled receptors that are typically activated by the endogenous neurotransmitter serotonin. The largest concentration of these serotonergic neurons are found in the raphe nuclei. From the raphe nuclei, these neurons extend through many regions of the brain, including the frontal cortex, the hippocampus, the spinal cord, and the amygdala. Due to this extensive neuronal network, the stimulation of these receptors are significant in a variety of cognitive processes. Of the 5-HT2 receptors, the 5-HT2A receptors are the main excitatory subtype, although some of them have an inhibitory effect. 5-HT2A is targeted by several hallucinogens, including LSD, psilocybin, and DOI. When these hallucinogens are administered to rodents, they induce a head twitch response that can be used to measure 5-HT2A activation. By administering 5-HT2A antagonists alongside these hallucinogens, researchers observed an elimination of the head twitch response. This effect implicates the interaction between these hallucinogens and 5-HT2A as playing a key role in the effects of these hallucinogens. Similarly, the same parameters were used to analyze the effects of nbomb on rodents. When rodents were given nbomb and their head twitch response was assessed, the results showed that when given nbomb, rodents experienced a significant increase in the head twitch response, indicating that nbomb interacts with the 5-HT2A receptors to produce hallucinogenic responses. nbomb has a variety of physical effects. On the more positive side, nbomb has been known to produce euphoria, a strong body high, hallucinations, and a heightened sense of spirituality. However, unlike some traditional hallucinogens, nbomb has fatal negative effects as well. Ingestion of nbomb causes depersonalization, anxiety, dissociation, vasoconstriction, nausea, and bronchial constriction. As it stands, the LD50 of nbomb is not known. Nbomb is a highly potent drug, with recommended dosing ranging from 50 to 800 micrograms. Due to the highly potent nature of nbomb and the lack of knowledge on its lethal dosing, the risk for overdose is very high.
And bought a new drug from him called 25I.
These doctors, 7 specialists, infectious disease, neurologist, hospitalist, internist, I mean, I can't even name his entire team, had never heard of this drug, ever.
25I, also called nbomb or Smiles, is synthetic LSD. It's sold on the streets like this on colorful blotter paper that's been dipped with the chemical, with each tab going for about $10. In some cases, the mixture can be 66 times more powerful than LSD. It's showing up in Dallas, and recently sent 3 teenage girls to the emergency room in Virginia. Starts off as
Since its emergence in the drug market in 2010, nbomb has been sold in a variety of different forms. Nbomb can be ingested as a liquid, a powder, a capsule, or a blotter, like we just saw. Nbomb's blotter presentation is particularly dangerous because of its similarities to the traditional hallucinogen LSD. Producers and sellers of nbomb often allude to LSD as a marketing technique, touting it as a legal LSD alternate, or sometimes falsely claiming nbomb to be LSD itself. While LSD is typically less harmful, nbomb is much more dangerous.
Starts off with a lot of sweating, maybe even some nausea and vomiting. But ultimately, it will lead to very aggressive, violent behavior, and ultimately will lead to death.
There was so much brain damage.
Nbomb can be ingested orally, buccally, nasally, or insufflated. Depending on the method of ingestion, nbomb's onset and duration vary. Typically, the effects of the drug occur within 15 to 120 minutes and then plateau from 2 to 4 hours. When insufflated, the drug can last from 4 to 6 hours total. However, when administered sublingually or buccally, it can last from 6 to 10 hours. So far, there haven't been any studies concerning the development of tolerance to nbomb. However, due to the delayed onset of the drug, the lengthy intoxication period, and the adverse effects, the addictive potential is probably pretty low. While nbomb's addictive potential might be low, it is still very dangerous. According to a DEA report in 2013, at least 19 individuals between the ages of 15 and 29 have died from nbomb as of 2013. Nbomb is known as a designer drug. Designer drugs are synthetic compounds that are typically modified molecular structures of illegal or controlled substances. By creating a substance with similar structure and effects as popular illegal drugs, designer drugs are often able to circumvent existing drug laws. As a synthetic designer drug, nbomb is often produced in clandestine labs. When nbomb is produced by these chemists in these labs, the accuracy of their creation varies, and you can't be sure what you're really ingesting. When nbomb was first synthesized, it belonged to the class of synthetic legal intoxicating drugs. These drugs are typically labeled as research chemicals that aren't intended for human use. However, since their creation, they have become reclassified as a Schedule I drug in the United States as of November 2013. As a Schedule I drug, possession or sale of nbomb with the intent of human consumption is strictly prohibited. Although nbomb is now illegal under federal U.S. laws, they reveal a prevalent problem with designer drugs. As new designer drugs are increasingly produced, drug enforcement and health-related agencies aren't able to keep up as quickly as new drugs are produced. By the time these drugs gain visibility, it's often too late, and many victims' lives have already been claimed. Until more research can be conducted, nbomb should be considered a highly dangerous substance and cannot be used safely for any recreational or medical purposes. Until then, all we can do is educate our society about the dangers of designer drugs like nbomb in order to prevent future adverse reactions or overdosing from these drugs. That's all for today, friends. Thanks for watching and have a good day.